The 180 is one of the more intro beginner tricks to BMX. It is also less of a foundational trick like the bunny hop, but it is pretty important. I mean, pegs hard 180s, 180 bar spins, 180 tuck no handers, even 360s and 540s. It all starts with the 180. So this is the very first step in your spin trick journey in BMX. Make me a deal, guys. If you get any value out of today's video, hit that like and subscribe button and comment down below what are the how-tos you would like me to make next. Now, I also have a BMX class. It's the Fast Pass BMX class. Basically, it's just totally cut the learning curve. I mean, it took me like 5 years to get to where I'm at today. Actually 7 now that I think about it. You're gonna learn how to get good really fast with it's like a BMX tree. It's kind of like a hack system to learn tricks really fast, all the way up to I'm talking like double peg hard 180 bars coming out of a bunny hop in this course, right? So it's gonna teach you how to get really good, really fast, how to buy bikes, when to buy bikes, the good brands, the bad brands, proper ways to do things, the right riding attire, the best shoes, how to get the best bang for your buck in general, the mental aspect, and other really important things. You just basically, it's the Fast Pass BMX class. Just gonna cut the learning curve and teach you guys how to get good the quickest. So invest in your passion, invest in yourself, invest in your career, and download this course. And make sure you watch this video all the way to the end because you do not want to miss a little gold nugget of information. Maybe even watch this video over more than once, because chances are when you watch a movie, you like it, you watch it again, you're like, hey, I don't remember that part, I don't remember that detail. Well, I'm about to give you guys a lot of information, and I guarantee when you're done watching this video, in the next day, week, month, year, whenever, you will be able to 180 off of this video alone. So I greatly appreciate you guys coming to hang out, and without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. So what I like to do in these tutorials is give you guys all of the steps right out of the gate, and the most of the time spent is all of the details in those steps. So instead of saying, pull up, carve, whatever, we're gonna go into each detail, and then I'm gonna teach you guys how to 180 higher and faster, and of course, the list of things to avoid, which is very important. So these steps are carve, pull up, turn your head, and then just land the 180 and fakie out. So number 1 is carve. Now you're going to want to carve about 45 degrees, which means here is riding in a straight line, and then here is 90 degrees. You're gonna wanna carve at about 45 degrees, right? So you're not gonna wanna carve too much to where you're not really doing a 180, you're doing a 90. And some people, they carve too much and they kind of come to a complete stop and then just kind of flop over sideways. The problem is you're carving too much. So 45 degrees is the sweet spot for a slow to medium speed. Now, if you're doing it on a bank, because a lot of people like to try to learn these on banks first, I would try to minimize the amount of carve you do, because you're in a way already kind of getting a little bit of a boost and kind of cheating in a way. I don't want to use the word cheating for lack of a better term, but yeah, so if you're doing it on a bank, minimize your carve. This step will be different for everybody. Some people need a little bit more than 45 degrees. Some people like myself need 0 degrees, and we'll get into that detail a little bit later. But eventually down the road, you will need no carve. This is just kind of get you going with that spinning motion. Number 2 is pull up. Now, if you've seen my bunny hop tutorial, I mean, it's basically all the same steps on this, but you're gonna have to obviously be able to bunny hop to learn the 180. So just simply carve and then pull up. And then at this point, you're slightly rotating in the air. Let's say you're 90 degrees in. Step number 3 is the absolute most important, just crucial part. And that is turning your head. But more importantly, keeping your head turned. This is the most important part of every single spin trick. Now, I'm sure you've heard everybody in every how-to and everybody at the skate park say, turn your head. But I'm gonna give you a little bit of a detail that is basically another little hack that is going to get you to rotate much faster, much quicker. And that is, don't just turn your head. You're gonna wanna turn your head, your shoulders, and your torso. Turn your entire upper body, because like, sure, that does something, but imagine comparing that to that. Obviously, you're going to get a much better result if you use your whole upper body, and you're not gonna twist your neck. It's gonna be all one motion. So think about turning your head and your body, which makes you be able to turn your head even more, right? So that's a hack right there. So you're going to turn your head and keep your head turned. So you're going to pull up, you're going to carve, you're going to pull up, turn everything, and you're going to keep that head turned. Keyword, keep that head turned, and stare at your landing. So basically, I'm 180 and I'm turning and I'm staring at my landing and winding back out. You need to, it's just as important as initially turning your head, you have to keep it turned. Because a lot of people, they'll turn and then they'll stop. And then, we're going to get into the things to avoid later. I'll go into greater detail there, but that's most people's issue. Now, number 4 is simply just landing the 180 and doing a fakie out. If you don't know how to fakie out or half cab out yet, I have a how-to on this channel. I will link it below. You can most certainly check that out, and that's basically the last half of the trick. Now we're going to get into how to 180 higher. Now, number 1 is you're going to want to master the bunny hop. Sure, that's before you even start the 180, but you're going to want to master being able to bunny hop higher, because you're not going to be able to 180 higher than you're going to be able to bunny hop, right? You're always going to be pretty much, in theory, 180ing a little bit lower than your bunny hopping. So you're going to want to master the bunny hop. So basically, as high as you can bunny hop, you're going to be able to 180 just a little bit lower. So that's the first step to being able to do it higher. Number 2 is keep it controlled. You don't want to yank too hard. This trick is more form than it is muscle. Now, I said that in my bunny hop how-to. It is more form than it is muscle. So if you think you're too small, if you think your bike's too heavy, that's bullshit. That's just simply not true. It's all form. So if you follow this form, carve, pull up, not too hard, don't yank too crazy, because it's all form, so you can do it. You can barely pull up and barely turn and still do it if you have the form down. That's why I said eventually you're going to need 0 carve, because your form is going to be so good. You don't even have to worry about that. So in other words, keep it controlled. Don't just, carve super hard and pull up as fast as hard as you can, because you're just going to pull your back. You're just going to fall. It's going to be uncontrolled. You need to stay in control and focus on the form. So if you want to go higher, you're going to be doing more pulling, more turning the head, and less carve. So just a heads up for that if you plan on progressing a little bit, quickly. If you get going fast on me, just don't carve so much, because if you're going really fast and you carve, you're just going to kind of fall over. Now, the things to avoid. Of course, you are going to want to avoid pulling up too hard and doing things too aggressively out of your comfort zone. You want to stay in your comfort zone, in your skill. Although I don't want to say in your comfort zone, but in your skill zone. So that way, if you pull up, here, let's say here's your skill max. If you're kind of, staying in your skill and then you're just learning the form, you're going to be safe. But if you start yanking a little bit too hard, you're going to lose control and you're going to fall, and it's not really going to work. It's going to be ugly if you do land it. Next is don't move too quickly. To learn the 180 off of things higher and higher, make sure you are comfortable with the previous level. So I talked about this in my how-to bunny hop as well. It's kind of like a video game. You get level 1, level 2, level 3. You're not going to play one match, get level 1. Play one match, get level 2. Play one match, get level 3. Well, I mean, I guess you might if it's Call of Duty right out of the gate. But what I'm trying to say is you're going to be on one level and you're going to progress. You're going to get kills, XP. You're going to unlock things. And then when you're ready for number 2, then you unlock number 2. In other words, you're not going to 180 over a crack, 180 over a hose, then go 180 over a Sabrosa rail, then go 180 over a Jersey barrier. You're going to want to 180 that crack for a full day. Get it down perfectly every single time, 9 times out of 10. Then do the same with the curb. 180 onto a curb, 180 off of a curb, 9 times out of 10. Then once you've mastered that level, then move on to the other one. Not only is it going to maximize your chances of being able to learn that obstacle quicker, you're going to minimize your chances of getting hurt, prolonging your BMX progression. And of course, not turning your head. That is a massive thing you want to avoid. Keep your upper body turned at all costs. And this is an advice I always give on all the tricks, and that is simply just filming yourself in slow motion. If you can't get this trick, now keep in mind, it might take you an hour, might take you a day, might take you a week, month, year. Everybody progresses at their own rate as long as you're just having fun, right? So film yourself in slow motion to see what step goes wrong. Are you not carving enough? Are you carving too little? That's the same thing. Are you carving too much? You're not pulling up enough. Are you pulling up too much? Are you losing control? Are you leaning back? Whatever it might be, see yourself in slow motion, analyze it, figure out what part of the trick is going wrong, refer back to this video, study this step one more time, and then correct it. So that's how you do the 180, folks. You know how we do it. We like to give you the steps and then give you the whole story, everything around it. So this is a little bit longer of a how-to than I'm sure you've seen before, but I hope that you've gained the most value. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below any videos that you would like to see next. Also, sign up for that BMX class. I have spent a lot of time on it. It's designed to make you learn the whole picture, not just how to get good fast, but how to get the best clothes, shoes, riding attire, safety equipment, everything that you need to know will be in that class. Cut the learning curve, invest in yourself, invest in your career, invest in your passion. I will see you guys in the next video. Hey, pick up your Hawaiian shirts, merch down below if you're interested in more riding attire.